Lyra, and today we are going to have a presentation about the potential challenges resulting from differences in macro-environmental factors, as well as cultural differences that the CU company of China might face in United Kingdom. And this is my group member, Lin, Lichi, Isela, Kelly, Lucia, and Leah. And we divided in 6 parts of our presentation. It's about macro-environmental analysis, cultural differences, and cultural challenges, as well as relevant strategy and conclusion. House of Fraser was established in 1849 in Glasgow after the Second World War, became the national chain and 54 stores in the UK. CU company in September 23, 2011 in the Hong Kong Stock Exchange main board listing, and in the 2015 acquired Harmless, and Harmless have more than 250 years of history and is one of the world's largest retailers. Because of the economic crisis, House of Fraser have 21 stores closed, and in May 2018 were acquired a 51 stake. So next is Lin and Leah.
And now, Leah and me will give a macro-environmental analysis of China and UK. First, let's look at the political factors. China is one of the most powerful countries in the world as it is a permanent member of the United Nations Security Council, and it is also the 4th largest country in the world by land area. And second, China is a country with great political stability, and the stability of state order involves political, economic, and social factors, among which political is the most fundamental. And now let's look at the United Kingdom. Compared with China, one of the most political factors is Brexit. On the one hand, it is considered as a benefit because the country will no longer contribute to the EU budget. But on the other hand, some people think that Britain will lose the benefits of free trade with neighbors and weaken the ability to negotiate with the rest of the world. And compared with the central government in China, local governments in the United Kingdom can adapt to the local needs and respond quickly to the local problems. Lawmakers and officials have the local knowledge and can deliver the policies based on the local conditions. And third is about the economic factors. Comparing the GDP between China and UK, we can see that the annual GDP of China is much higher than the UK. However, the GDP per capita of China and UK, the UK is much higher than China. So we can find that the British customers has much higher level consumption level than the China customers. And next, let's look at the technological factors. As we can see, internet connectivity has been on the rise globally in recent years. This provides a bigger market for many customers and companies that use the internet to connect with customers. Moreover, internet also helped China to establish a huge online market which makes about 90% online business accomplished, and a large number of Chinese customers enjoy shopping. Next, Leah will continue the analysis.
Now I'm going to talk about social cultural factors. Buying habits in China is different with the UK. This is a report shows that Chinese customers better enjoy shopping and buying things than Britain customers. 68% of Chinese interviewers said that they feel happy when shopping, where 41% UK interviewers have the same feelings. So next is legal factors. Chinese employment relationships are governed by the PRC label law 1995, which makes the basic framework for employment law issues. In the UK, employment relations are governed by contract law, but within a framework of national and EU law. New entrants to the UK labour market should be aware of important laws such as the right to employment. Last is environmental factors. Environmental factors would result to workplace efficiency and environment-related loss. China's main environment problem is air pollution from over-reliance on coal, which produce acetylene. China's CO2 emissions are among the highest in the world and increasing every year. Water shortage also causes water pollution. Deforestation is the main cause of flooding. China's worst natural disaster. Britain also faces bad weather and pollution. However, Britain people has awareness of environment issues, and this can be seen in the number of people joining environment organizations. The environment also supports the use of green technologies by offering financial incentives to companies that use new energy. This page shows some main points that difference between China and the UK. Next.
Thanks to Lin's explanation. Now in my part, I will talk about the cultural differences. Now, this is the bar chart of the Hofstadter insights between China and United Kingdom. These two figures are similar, so next I will never talk about these two. And these two, though they are different, but they are not play a more important role in the C-banner company. These two bar charts means that the Chinese people target on the future, and the UK people think the present is much more important. And these two bar charts means that the Chinese people limit themselves more than the English. So next I will talk about these two. First of all, I will analyze the two data. As we see in the present bar chart, the data of power distance in China is higher than that in Britain. That means the Chinese people think highly of the power, means the status. For example, in China, the people meet a stranger at first. They will look through these people. Which kind of products these people have? What kind of clothing they have? To know these people, what kind of people these people is. But in Britain, people think less important. And the percentage of individualism in China is lower than that in England. That means the Chinese people want to keep up with the organization. They can't bear they are more different from the others, and the English people think it's not a great deal. So, how does these two factors influence the C-banner company? First of all, the products which is sell out in China, these kind of products can show the people's prominent position. For example, the clothing with big logo to show these people's status. For example, in China, people think the person with iPhone is a rich man, and the children with iPhone is a rich man's children, and the people who wear the glasses is the people who is knowledgeable. In fact, the people wear glasses maybe is the people who are addicted to the computer games. But in the Britain, this is not really. So the products who is sold out in China maybe cannot be sold out well in Britain. The British maybe focus more on the product itself. Maybe it's the quality, appearance, and so on. Then finally, some products which is popular for the vast majority of people maybe can sell out well in the China. There is an interesting phenomenon. In China, if a female star wear an amazing chain in a movie, next the girls in China may buy this chain in a hurry instantly, and the rest of the girls maybe buy the chain as well to keep up with the peers. In fact, they do not really like this trend just to keep up with others. And in Britain, it's not really. The British people may like something strange. They think it's cool. That in China, maybe it's not so. Next, the cultural change can be explained.
Thanks to this experience, now I will analyze the cultural challenges the C-banner company will face when they are entering the English market. Soon, the provide analyze about cultural differences. It may be found that cultural difference like lifestyle, language, and traditional culture would result to cultural challenges in company management. Firstly, as British people prefer freedom, they pay more attention to human rights. English workers think highly of freedom so that they can affect different rules of the company. If the company keeps in the management system in China without any change, there will be a conflict. Britain individually value are also performed in their working style. In the UK, working hours are all usually fixed and the overtime is rare. And even they are paid. Moreover, different from Catholic Chinese, financial rewards are considered to be one of the most effective motivation tool in UK workplaces. Secondly, British people preserve the tradition and value the tradition, which influence their process of discussion making. Making decisions in the UK business environment is a slow-paced process. Meetings follow a very specific and rigid structure, which is sometimes very inflexible and lead to a slow decision-making process. It will also cause another challenge is that English strongly believe their previous culture. So if a very different culture of product which is against their traditional culture come to their lives suddenly, they cannot accept that. That's all. Kelly will talk about next part.
Thanks for lecture's presentation. Now let me talk about the business strategies. To begin with, because of cultural differences of aesthetics in UK and in China,
The market trend also should be considered significantly for company. Firstly, it will be an effective way for C-banner company to gain more cultural knowledge that employ locals. While this also could be an opportunity for company to realize marketing localization, share and enjoy vital information. For instance, the expat employees not only share the information about local markets, the essential laws, language, purchasing habits, and other culture to Chinese employees, but also learn more about the organization, operation, and other details of C-banner company from Chinese employees, which also demonstrates the importance of communication and interaction. After that, it will be easier for company to adapt products in UK that scientifically adopt the ideas from local employees. In terms of working styles in British, it is essential for us to understand cultural differences and the ways they manifest, such as the restricted working hours we mentioned about from part 3. Under this circumstance, we are supposed to implement change in a new management style. For example, attach much importance on the labor laws in UK to protect the rights of employees that workers are entitled to minimum daily and weekly rest periods and to 5 or 6 weeks holiday each year. This will bring us benefits that the long-term and stable labor relations between employees and enterprise can be settled down. Thank you. Next, Lucia will talk about the conclusion.
Finally, I will make a general summary of our group's views. We use pastel analysis model to point out that C-banner should pay attention to the impacts of Brexit, such as labor costs, traffics, and employment. Besides, it is important to find a selling method which is most suitable for Britain customers. Secondly, through the half-set analysis, it is found that the company should adjust product types according to local conditions. Next, we indicate that the cultural differences often comes up with cultural challenges. C-banner should give employees more freedom, which adapts to their individualistic values. Britain tradition often be also valued to avoid cultural conflicts. Following the principle of seeking common ground while resolving differences, companies should not blindly resist cultural differences, but make a reasonable use of them to enrich cultural diversity. We believe that under the guidance of our group's program, C-banner company will be able to respond effectively to risk. That brings me end to our presentation. Thank you for your attention, and we'd be glad to answer any question you might have. This is our references list.